Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Preco, President and Founder of Atom Software, and it's my pleasure today to demonstrate all the amazing features of Atom Software. So we might have some people popping in and out here, but we'll get started right away because I know everyone's got a busy schedule. So I'm going to begin with the tax preparation workflow, and then we'll gradually get into the bookkeeping and payroll side. I just know everyone typically has a tax office, so it kind of makes sense to start with there. So a typical client will first schedule an appointment. I know everybody has different offices, but most of what I'm going to be showing will probably apply to most people. So first off, with Adam, because we have an appointment calendar, we just would go ahead and first we need to locate the client. So I'm going to do a search. I'm going to enter the client's name. Oh, and by the way, for questions and answers, what we'll be doing is because we have several people on the line here, is if just go ahead and type in your question, and I'll get to them at the end. It just seems it works better that way. And then, but as the questions pop into your head, go ahead and type in. I'll cover everything at the end of the demo. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess my volume is low. Okay, if you guys want to, are you guys able to hear me now? If someone would message, I'm on a headset, so hopefully, okay, perfect. All right, great. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so the first step, we'll go ahead and search for the client. So the one I'm going to be used here is Keisha James. So I locate Keisha here before I go to schedule. And the reason I did this is because you get a lot of valuable information prior to actually booking the appointment that you normally wouldn't do if you're using, say, Outlook or Google Calendar. So first, I could see the year they were with me. I can see which office they went to. I can also see if they have a client balance because we use Adam for tracking our receivables. I can see the status, what they were in last year, how difficult the return is to make sure I match it up with the appropriate preparer, how long it takes to do the return, who did the return last year, how many years they've been with me, what I charged them last year, and then you can also rank your clients by category to identify your best clients and your worst clients. So from here, I'll just go ahead and click on the scheduler. That's going to take me right into my calendar. And then from here, I can select which preparer I'd like to book it with. If you notice here, we have color coding based on the business type. So I have a bookkeeping client here under Dwan, and I have a payroll client here for Dave. Right now, I'm working on tax prep. I'm going to book this with Mark. I'm going to go ahead and schedule this for 11 o'clock with Mark. If I want to change the time, I could do that. If I want to type a note, I can also enter that here. So also bringing in son's info. So this way the preparer will see this prior to doing the return. So from here, I can go ahead and send them an email and a text confirmation to Keisha here. I hit save. Go ahead and book the appointment right in here. I can then do a drag and drop if I'd like. I can change the time by extending it this way. And that's pretty much how our calendar works. I could also, if I want to focus in on just say Mark, if he has a busy schedule, I want to look at the week in advance or a month out, I can do that. Now, when we check the client in, we use a self-check-in screen to help the receptionist out. So I have the clients booked. Now they're going to come in my office. And again, if you're doing just drop-offs and they're sending you the information, obviously you wouldn't use a check-in screen, or you may not even use an appointment calendar, but it all depends. I'm just trying to show you all the features of Adam. So from here, if you need some help in your lobby, this is a nice tool for your receptionist. So they go ahead and the client would walk through the door, enter their social. It's going to welcome them back. Say you have a scheduled appointment with Mark at 11:30, and then you can customize this message. So in this case, it's saying, please take a clipboard to update your contact information, and then Mark will be right with you momentarily. Then we wait, and the check-in screen will pop back up here for the next client to come in. And then how this basically starts the whole workflow process for tax preparation. So now I'm logged in under Mark inside my Adam. I see over here in the right-hand corner, my 11:30 appointment is here, and the clock starts ticking. So if I'm actually doing a tax return, I know I need to speed up to get this client out so I can get my next client in. Okay, so now if you look over here as we start the workflow, I'm in the lobby because that's where I showed it was going as they checked in. Here's Keisha right down here at the bottom. It shows the appointment is with Mark at 11:30, and they've been sitting here for a minute at this time. I also have a couple other people in here that were walk-ins. One was requesting Andy. The other one, they don't care. They just want to have somebody do their tax return. So we also see the difficulty here. So if you do have walk-ins, this is a helpful screen because then you make sure the right preparer grabs the right person to take them back. Okay. We also have balances showing here to make sure you don't do free returns for people anymore. So your manager or however you want to do that in your office can set up a procedures to make sure that you take care of people that owe you money before actually doing another tax return for them. And again, here's the note that was entered on the appointment calendar so the preparer can easily see that. And then also, just in case Mark here coming out to greet Keisha doesn't know who she is still, even though she's been with me for 6 years, I can actually click on their ID and take a peek before I come out and greet the client. So we scan the IDs in, and so we store that information. So from here, now if I was going to move this to drop, say this client actually just dropped the information off, they actually didn't come in the office and wanted an appointment. Then from here, the receptionist would take their information. I would move it to drop off. And the reason I'm showing this is because I know we have a lot of users that may not sit down with the client and do the tax return. So I'll demo both procedures. So I save it, I move it to drop off now, and I have it assigned to Mark. So now on my home page, one, they're out of my lobby. So you notice my appointment up here in the upper right-hand corner is gone. Over here in drop-off, where I'm managing all my drop-offs, I have 6 in the drop-off. 1 shows past due, and I have them labeled as drop-off easy, drop-off advanced. All these events right here, you guys can customize this to whatever flow is in your office. We'll give you a layout, but from there, you're going to tweak it to match what works in your office. So here I have the 6 drop-offs, and it's going to track how many days they've been in here. It's going to track the due date of the tax return, the type of tax return it is. So if I got some 1120 1065s, it'll identify that so I know which one to do next. We also can categorize them right here again if you want to match up with your good clients. Maybe you want to make sure your A clients get done first and your C clients or E clients can wait. Whatever you want to do in your office, Adam just gives you the answers and you can go ahead and do it however you want to work your office. So here I put a due date on this one. That's why it's actually identifying it right here as past due. So you can do that any one of the events in here. So if you want to be alerted if something's past due or not, it's kind of jump out at you. So from here, the preparer would go ahead and take the client back, in this case, or start working on the return. So I'm going to move it out of drop off here. I'm going to move it back to tax preparation, start working on the tax return. Now I'm doing the tax return, whatever tax software you're using. If you have 2 screens, you can have Adam up on one, you can have your tax software on the other. Do the tax return just like you always would. Adam has a document storage. So what I recommend, the way Adam was built, again, you don't have to use all the features of Adam to make it work for your office. I'm just kind of demonstrate everything it does. But we found in our office, it's a lot easier to put everything in one place as opposed to having things scattered. Just like a typical office, do you want things scattered around your office? Well, do you want software applications scattered all over the place that your staff has to try to know and find out where things are? So with Adam, you can put it all in one place to make your life easier. So with document storage, we scan everything into Adam. So basically, we scan it. It goes into a folder. It can be either on your server or your workstation. I'll pop this up here. I then drag it into Adam. I'm going to then name it. So say these are my W-2s, my 1099s. I go ahead and label it, and you can categorize your own upload types here. I save it. Now I'm attaching my W-2s, 1099s, all to the tax return. Now I'm going to have the client sign the 8879. Then again, I'm going to scan that in. I'm going to drag that into their file here. Label it signature documents. Okay. Now I'm going to PDF the tax return in the tax software. Save it to the exact same folder, and I'm going to drag it in here again, and now I'm going to label it tax return, okay? And because we have a client portal, we like to give our clients access to their tax return because they can access it 24/7 on their phone, on their desktop, on their tablet, whatever. As soon as I label it tax return, over here where it says client access, it's automatically giving them limited access, which means they can actually view that tax return on the portal, which I'll show you in a minute. They can view it as soon as their balance is paid in full. If their balance isn't paid in full, it'll give them a red message telling them they need to pay their balance before they can actually see that tax return. Now, you could give them full access, which means they can see that return regardless if they have a balance due or not. No access means they cannot see any of these documents on the portal. So I'm going to go ahead and give her limited access. I save it. As soon as I save it, Keisha is automatically getting an email and a text sent to her saying that your company just uploaded their tax return and now it's available for her to view. And the link is going to take her right to the portal login page, which looks like this. So it's going to have your logo right here in the upper left-hand corner. They're going to go ahead and enter their social or their email address, their password, which you can either give them one or they could create their own. Now they're into their site. Okay, from here, they can go ahead and, I think I have one. You know what? I apologize. Let me adjust a few things on the portal. I had turned off yesterday, client portal links. This is where, and this, if you want me to show you, this is how you can customize your client portal. So you can actually change the names. You can add links to it. You can remove links. So I want to make sure you guys see making payment, because that's a pretty important link. I'm going to make that active again. Okay, and then where's my refund? We want to make that active again. But this is how easy it is to do this. Okay, and then we want to schedule my appointment. We want to make that active again too. I apologize, I didn't have this ready for you. Okay, now I'm going to go back here to my portal. But that's how easy it is to customize features in Atom. Now I'm going to refresh my screen. Now I have all my links available to me. So I'm going to start with where it says My Documents. This is the tax return I just put out there. So here's a tax return for them to view for 2018. They would just click on the PDF, and now they can see it. I can go back to any year I'd like. If I go back to my 2017, here I have a tax return that has limited access. So if you see, Keisha still here owes me $165. If I click on balance pending, I'm going to pop into my make payment page. And from here, I can see what year she's got a balance due, and I can go ahead and pay with credit card or pay with e-check, which is like your bank account. As soon as I pay that, she automatically gets an email sent to her with a receipt. The balance clears out to zero, and she can now see her tax return. And then you also get notified through Adam that she just paid her bill, so then she can move it to the next stage in the workflow, which is probably like reviewer or EF ready. Okay, now I'm going to go back here to my documents real quick here. Let me switch over to 17. This is where it says file will be accessible when your account balance is paid in full. So this has a limited access on it. Right above here, I want to point out the e-sign Form 8879. So you're able to e-sign with Adam, and how we created that is we use a PIN signature similar to what you're using in your tax software, where you enter 5 digits for signing. So with Adam, when I click on e-sign required, this is going to pop up. So I have it labeled both for a taxpayer and a spouse. So they need to check the box that they certified that they read the PDF that's attached to this, which is the 8879. They're then going to enter their name, their PIN, which you could give them, or they can create their own PIN right through here, and it'll automatically be emailed or text to them. Their social, their date of birth, and their zip code, and all those fields have to match. So you have a successful e-sign. Once the e-sign is successful, an e-sign signature will produce automatically right here as a PDF, which is attached to their 8879. You get notified inside their file, and you see the same e-sign certificate. If it does not, if they're unsuccessful here, they have 3 attempts, and then they're basically kicked out and told to notify your office. We'll go ahead and cancel this. And both taxpayer and spouse can e-sign at different times too. Okay, uploading files. Your client can easily upload files from here. All they're going to do is drag and drop, just like you did. So if they have a desktop, they're just going to go ahead and drag these. Let me grab this, drag this in here. They can label it W2, hit upload. Now it's gone right into their file, because this is all included in Adam, and then you get notified that this client just sent you a document. Okay, which I'm going to show you right here. Move this over here. Okay, now on my home page inside of Adam. Over here, Office Overview. This is like basically under the Office Overview is all the communication coming from the client to you. Okay, the very top one is Office Portal. So I click on, I have 3 new messages. I can have them group them by client, or I can go ahead and just show them right here. So I have Keisha One is she update. Oh, that's Katrina here. So Keisha here, she just sent me a document. If I click on the eyeball to view it, it says W-2. Where they all go is right in Keisha's file inside where it's called permanent documents. This is kind of like a holding bin for all of her documents she sends me, and from here I move it to the appropriate business type and appropriate year. So I'm going to go ahead and check this box. I now move it, say it's a 2018 W-2. I hit move. Now I go to my account documents. There it is right there. So now my preparers can start working on it. So that's the client. Makes it really easy for the client to send the information to you. They can also do this on their phone. So they can just do a screenshot of their phone, or they can go in their gallery and send you the W-2, and it's all secure and encrypted. My messages, you can communicate back and forth with your clients by messaging through them, and this is all encrypted. So this is a preferred method of communication because it's encrypted. And you get notified, and both you and your client will get notified when someone sends messages. Again, I already covered the make payment. The clients could schedule their appointments through here. We just pick on a day where we have some appointments. Okay, I just select the preparer, and then from here I can select the time. So based on, because we know Keisha's like a 30-minute return, it's only going to display what's available based on Mark's work schedule, okay, because they're selecting Mark. So that's where we kind of like stand out compared to other appointment calendars, because we have historical data on the client when they're booking their appointments, okay, or when you're trying to book an appointment for the client. A typical calendar, you're just booking an appointment and you really have no idea what that client is. You don't know how long it takes to do the return. You don't know if they've been with you for many years or what. Where at Adam, you have all that data in front of you before you actually book it, or they actually book it. They can also give you feedback here. So this is nice. We kind of link this up with your review page on your Facebook, Google, and Yelp. So if they say you guys did a great job, they hit yes. And then now they're going to link off to your Facebook, Google, and Yelp page to leave a positive review, and then hopefully generate more business for you. Now, if for some reason someone in your office did not so great job, and they say, no, you didn't meet my expectations, they're going to tell you what the problem was, but it's just going to go internally on the home page of Adam, and then you could deal with it that way. So as you can see, if you know anything about Adam, you know Adam is much more than just a CRM, document storage, whatever. It's the whole package, which means part of the package means you need to generate new business. So Adam helps you generate new business. This is just one of the features, automating gathering online reviews to help you grow your business. Okay, and also they can update their contact information. They can also you can put favorite links out here too. So you can put some links to your client information sheet, organizers, or where's my refund on the IRS site, which, speaking of which, if I come up here, where's my refund, if you're using the tax software, Drake, Crosslink, or TaxWise, we're integrated with them. So what that means is we can pull EF data in from that tax software into Adam. And by doing so, one of the benefits is the client can actually see whether the return is being accepted or rejected, and when they can expect their refund money. Okay, so that's another reason to get them to go to the portal. It's not just for transferring documents back and forth. It's actually so they can keep up to date and not bother you and call you about their refund. Okay. All right, that's pretty much it for the portal, how that works. And again, I'll take questions at the end regarding the portal too. Now I'm back in Keisha's file here. So because we use Adam for invoicing and tracking our payables and receivables, then I'm going to go ahead and record a fee for this. Say it's $225. If you notice, she also has the balance due $165 here for 2017, so I should be addressing that also at this time. I save it, and then again, I could pay with credit card, e-check right through here in the office. I could use a swiper, whatever I'd like to do, and it automatically would record the fee in here. Let's just say she's going to go ahead and record a check. I can go ahead and enter the check number over here. I then save it. Now it's going to zero out her current year balance. She still has an outstanding of $165. From here, I could print a statement, which would be handled like in this case, like a receipt, because she's got a balance due at $0. Or if I still had a balance due, it would show the dollar amount right there, and I could hand that to her. Or I can set it up that if I delete this back out here, I can blast her an email and a text right here telling her what her balance due is. And then I can even set that up to reoccur as many days as I want for frequent as I want right down here. So if you have someone who doesn't pay you and you want to harass them a little bit, you can go ahead and set this up, and Adam will just automatically send out an email and a text to them, and then it'll also direct them to the portal with a link saying you can make your payment there, and you can also view your invoice and your statement from there too. Okay, let's just say she went ahead and paid me. So I want to move it to the next stage here. So if everything's good, again, this all depends on the flow of your office. So now if I move it to, say if you're going to review the return, I save it. Now whoever's in charge of reviewing, again, can come to the home page right here, and I can see how many I have in reviewer. And I could also at this time too, if you have a remote reviewer or something and they're not in Adam all the time, you can set it up that at any one of these events, a specific person can be assigned a task or be notified that, hey, there's something in the reviewer, you need to log into Adam to take a look. So it can be all automated based on as soon as it hits reviewer, you can do that. So if I need to review this return, I then move it from reviewer to what we call in review, which means I'm actually looking at it right now, because you can actually track how much time is spent reviewing and who does the reviewing. And you can do this also with tax prep. Easily have reports that show how many returns everybody's done, how much time it takes them to do it, and how much money each preparer is bringing in. So now if everything looks good, I move it down to ready to e-file. I save it. And again, now who's responsible for transmitting? You can just go ahead and look right here. So I got one in here for ready to e-file. I come here, I transmit my tax software. Over here, I can check the box. I hit send over in Adam. And what it does is it closes out my ready to e-file, moves it down to awaiting IRS acknowledgments. And then from here, again, depends on if you're using one of those three softwares, Drake, TaxWise, or Crosslink. We can just click on this Drake Web Service Electronic Filing Data Import. It automatically pulls in the EF data into Adam. And now I can see my acknowledgments right here. So I can see what's been accepted or rejected, and I can then move it to the next stage, the next process, or the status. Now, in addition to the EF data that comes in when I click this link, also all the contact data comes in from the client. So if the client updated a phone number, an email address in your tax software when the preparer was doing it, it'll automatically now flow into Adam, so you don't have to do duplicate data entry. So those are the two features of the integration. Okay, so from here, I have Keisha. Now, in this case, I don't have an acceptance. So this is another way we have a way. Obviously, you guys always want to make sure you e-file every return it's supposed to. So one is it quite easily sticks out that this was never e-filed. And then two, we have reports, discrepancy reports, to identify those returns that should have been transmitted that never were, based on where it is in the workflow of Adam. So again, the whole goal is to eliminate those cracks that things seem to slip through, and that's what Adam pretty much does. So now from here, another thing I want to demonstrate, this is, say, a typical client doesn't have all the information, so you're waiting on more information from the client. So if I was doing the return, I would have changed that status to pending client, waiting on additional information, and then it's going to tell me, better leave a note in here, tell me why I'm leaving it there. So I hit the edit pencil to leave my note. And then we have these predefined notes already established, because we find ourselves entering the same thing over and over again. So let's just say I'm waiting on W-2s. It's going to automatically date stamp it, and it's going to tell me what the problem is, why it's sitting here. I then save it. Now, if I'm doing a drop-off, obviously I can pick up the phone and call the client that they're missing a W-2, or I can go ahead and over right here, and I can just go ahead and blast out an email and a text. Now, this is automatically defaulting a message in here, but I can customize this or remove this, clear it out, and type exactly what I want to say, both as an email or a text, and say, hey, we're still waiting on W-2s or from General Motors or wherever, and I hit send this out. And then I can also have it's also defaulted to go out every 15 days, reminding the client until they come back and bring that information. So that would be all automated. You could turn that off if you want, or you can just let it roll until the client comes back, and then when you change it to the next status, then it'll stop sending that message out. So when I go back to my home page here, just cover a few more events that we see with tax preparation. We have rejects. So when the return rejects from the IRS, obviously you can move it down here, make your notes as what the problem is. Then when the client calls back in, they don't need to speak to that person who actually documented the reject problem, they can talk to the receptionist, and they can actually see what the problem is, take the note, and assign it to a specific person to make sure that that the return gets handled properly. Also, return pickup. If clients are, have information ready to pick up, they come in here. Again, you make your note that you contacted the client, and we have again an automated notification going out to that client, reminding them that we still have their tax return and it's ready to be picked up. And all that is recorded. It's all in the log, so you can see all that. One other thing I want to point out before I move off of tax preparation is, so I'm in. Another typical thing is, say Keisha calls in and says, "Hey, I'm just checking on the status of my return." Again, the first thing I'm going to do is look the client up. That's what we always train our employees. Look the client up, see what's going on with it before you quickly throw out an answer to the client, because you don't really know. So here I'd see right away, oh, it's a pending client. I just click on the status. I shoot into her file. I can see the whole history of it, from where I went from lobby to drop off to tax prep to reviewer. If there are any issues, I'd have notes right here. Come right down here and say, oh, Keisha, remember, we're still waiting on a W-2 from you. Mark told you back in, 2 weeks ago, and we've sent out notifications to you also. She's like, oh, that's right. So from here, I can go ahead and say I'm talking to the receptionist. The receptionist might go ahead and make a note. We'll bring in on, if I can spell correct, on Friday. Okay, and if I want to keep the preparer in the loop, I might assign it to that preparer just so they can see it. So then that's going to go up here on my home page. Now, again, I'm logged in under Mark, so now I have 2 new assigned tasks. I look at this, and I have one right here waiting. Oh, this one's return ready for review. We'll bring it on Friday. I click on here. I go right into their file. Again, I see the whole history of it. If I got to call the client back or anything, I have their contact information. Because one other thing I wanted to point out is a typical issue is, say this client calls in and says, I just need to talk to Mark. So the receptionist is going to look them up again. Then you go ahead and click on the notes icon, shoots into their file down here in our task notes, and I can go ahead and label it phone message. Again, I have my predefined notes, return client's phone call. And then from here, I just go ahead and assign it to whomever needs to return that call. I save it. Now the receptionist did their job, and the file has been documented. And now again, on my home page under Mark, now I looked at one, so I have 2 new assigned tasks, and there it is right there. The first one at top, phone message. Again, I just click on the icon, shoot right into her file, and right down to phone message. And from here, I can call them back, make a note if I had to leave a message or if I actually got a hold of them, and take care of it. But everything's documented in their file. One other thing I want to point out inside the file here is, let me go into tax year 2017. So I have the EF data here. Again, this is going to populate it, displays right inside the client file. So this one I actually rejected, but I have a lot of information the receptionist does that they can tell the client. I could switch over to 2016. Again, if I look at their EF data right here, and I can see what kind of product they had, if it's a bank product or they're just expecting a refund by standard mail, or maybe they're not expecting a refund at all, no refund due. I can see federal, state, and city. Also, for the years, I can easily see all the years the client's been with me. Oops, sorry about that. Where did I go? So right here, I have 13, 14, 16. So I can see what's going on with each one, their fees. I can easily go into any one of these years to look at their documents. If there's any issues related to it, if they get an IRS letter, say for 15, I can go check out what happened in 15, who actually did the return. So really quick, even without even putting the client on hold, I can see all this information and move quickly. One other thing I want to point out on the tax, so daily log down here. So if I click on my daily log, this is going to give me a nice little snapshot of what took place on a daily basis. So in this case, if I have 3 clients that came in, I can see what their status is for all 3. Make sure there's notes made in here. So I got Keisha here and pending. These 2 are still in my lobby. If I'm getting acknowledgments coming through, I'd see if they've been accepted already or not. I can see what we charged them, how long it took for each is the prep time and my lobby wait time and my reviewer time. So I nice glance really quick of what took place on a daily basis, and I can also contract the amount of money that came in here on a daily basis. My total walk-in count, my total appointment count, everything within seconds. I get a nice idea of what took place, and then everyone's put in the right spot. So I got a nice comfort level at the end of the night. everyone's taken care of. Even if I did 100 returns, I can easily see what took place that day, and everyone's taken care of. Okay, now I'm going to move over to our business type bookkeeping. Typically, a lot of our users obviously do taxes. They also do other business types. With Adam, you can have as many business types as you want: tax prep, payroll, resolution, insurance, investments. It doesn't make a difference. It's all up to you. Now, if I switch over to, say, bookkeeping, so now we've changed the flow. Now it's more like task management tracking. So we have like monthly bookkeeping. If we have like bank reconciliation set up, tracking the months, you can be notified when they're due. Okay, so we have some past dues here for October. You put due dates on them, make sure everything gets completed timely. Because as you know, that's one of the biggest challenges with payroll and bookkeeping is keeping up with the due dates. So Adam has all the due dates related to that. So it can kind of, one is you could be reminded right here they're past due. Two, you could also set it up that if it sits there too long, maybe the manager is going to get notified that by assigned task saying, hey, is this being completed timely? And then they can investigate into it. So it's just an automated process. Nothing you have to use spreadsheets anymore. And I mean, the advantage of using, I'm going to switch over to payroll real quick. And again, you can customize this to whatever you're tracking in your office. So I know we have something laid out here, but if you're saying like, oh, that doesn't make any sense to put, I don't know, unemployment or this annual county tax, whatever here, great, just remove it. You saw how easy I did it on the portal. It's just as easy here on the home page here with your office events. Change the names, change the order, eliminate them, whatever you want to do. We help you customize this to fit your office because every office operates differently. I go into bi-monthly payroll. So here I have, again, I got due date set up here. If I go into the file here, I'm going to go into BNC Pharmacy. Now I'm inside the file, and now I have an individual snapshot of it, seeing what's due, what's been completed. So I got my 9/41 first quarter, second quarter already completed. Third quarter's past due. Due date was 10/25. I'm 49 days late. These other ones are not due yet. That's why I have minus 43. So it's everything's just, you know, under control here. I can just focus in on, if I want to just look at what's due in the next 7 days, then I'm just going to see all my past dues because I have nothing due in my next 7 days. I hit all, I'm going to see everything. If I want to go back into one of my prior year quarters to see what took place, maybe they got a letter from the IRS. Let me go ahead and look at my 9/41 first quarter. Here's my note related to it. I can see when it was completed, who did the work, to make sure if it was an issue, maybe the employee or the client gave me information late. That's why I had issues. But anyway, I make my notes right here. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at the first quarter, if I'm looking at the third quarter 5 years ago. It's just as easy to get to. I just go ahead and move and go to the right year, and I'm there. So everything, again, one place. My QuickBooks files, I can upload them right in here, or the clients can upload them through the portal right here. Make it really quick and easy to get to. One thing I wanted to point out, I forgot to point out on the portal. It's kind of important. It's a nice little feature. So here I have Keisha James here. I'm in her file. She logged in. She also owns BNC Pharmacy and Family Barbershop. So I've linked the client files to her. So you can link as many clients that have a relationship with each other. And the nice thing about that in the portal is now they can go back and forth between companies without having to have separate logins. And that's the same way inside the file. So I can quickly move. Now I'm going to Keisha's file here. Now I'm going back, BNC Pharmacy. So it's just a nice, easy way to maneuver back and forth between clients that have a relationship. So right down here too, Keisha, now I'm back in Keisha's file. I can quickly move back to BNC. Okay. Make sure I'm covering everything. One other thing we have here, I want to point out, let me go into a punch clock. So we do have some people that, one, they track billable time. Okay, Adam has a billable time recording that. Also, it has a punch clock for just your employees punching in and out. So you can track hours, and then you can do the payroll. So it's nothing fancy, but it is a needed feature. So you just click on punch clock, select where they're sitting today, what they're doing today. They punch in. You can easily see the in-out board. Okay, see who's in late, who's on time, who's in early. And you can see if you have multiple offices, you can see across that. When they were done for the day, all they do is come in here and punch out, and then you can run report and get the hours based on whatever date range you'd like. So for billable hours, your employee or your employees can go ahead and log billable employee hours based on the client. So say if I were to come in here and I'm going to select it, say it's BNC Pharmacy is the company. I'm going to go ahead and link it to BNC Pharmacy. Say I called the IRS, I could put a billing rate with that, or I could default it to a billing rate. Make a note here on phone, and I put the times. Say it was 9 a.m. to the way the IRS is. Maybe it was on there for 3 hours. And I go ahead and log it. So now I'm tracking it, so I can actually go and see in BNC Pharmacy how many billable hours related to BNC Pharmacy, who actually did it. This is just under Mark right here. Now I click on BNC Pharmacy. I shoot into their file. I would be able to see all their billable hours. I'm going to go back a little bit for date range, see if I have anything in here. So this is the date range 10/27 to 12/14. These are all the billable hours. In this case, it was just Mark working on everything. But if I had other employees doing it, I'd see everybody here, and I could then filter based on the employee, filter based on the task type. If I just want to focus in on here, and I can go ahead and click a billable report to show exactly how much billable time related for this client based on this date range. And I can do that. I have reports where I can run and do the exact same report for all my clients at the same time as a batch, as opposed to being inside the individual file. Another nice feature here is I can go ahead and now move this billable time right into the transaction section, so I can invoice them. So if I go ahead and check the box which one I want to move, maybe I want to move these two, I can go ahead and select, I want to move it to payroll 2019. Let's do bookkeeping. And I go ahead and say it's monthly bookkeeping. I just hit create individual transaction. It shoots it right into my bookkeeping file. And there they are right here. And then from here, I can go ahead and print off a statement or an invoice, or I can blast them an email and a text billing them and track it that way. I can assign invoice numbers to that too if I'd like. Let me switch over now back to Keisha's individual file. Now I'm moving into a different topic here. I kind of mentioned about referrals. I'm sorry, not referrals, but marketing. Where we had those online reviews. That's a type of marketing to try to generate new business. Well, with Adam, obviously that's important to grow your business, and you want to know what works, what doesn't work. So every new client that comes in, there's a field here called referral, where you're going to identify how they came in your door. Either they word of mouth, refer a friend, the road sign, or a t-shirt, whatever it is. You can then run reports to see what works, what doesn't, how many came in, how much money came in, so you can stop campaigns that aren't working and keep campaigns that are working. So I'm going to go ahead and show you refer a friend, because that is the main way that tax office typically that I know of is growing, is because you're doing a good job. People are referring business to you, so I think you should reward them to hopefully generate more business. So as soon as you select refer a friend, this box is going to pop up, and from here you're going to then go ahead and select who referred them. It's going to find them in the database because they're a current contact. Select here. I pre-fill their address in because I'm going to automatically send them a thank you, both by letter and by email and text. I'm going to show you how easy it is. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And this also is going to track how many that this person's actually referred for the year. So I've got 7 from this client for the year and 64 total for the whole time she's been with our company. So from here, I can go ahead and send her an email and a text right away, just saying, thanks, Debbie, for sending. But you customize this thing, and you can even put a picture in the text to make it even stand out more. We actually put a bag of money going through our text, just to shock the client, and hopefully that stimulates more word of mouth. And also, I can go ahead and just click this letter, which will pop up here, and I can just fold this, shove it in my window envelope, and it's out the door. And in our case, we send cash. Try to get them to send more business in. But the whole process, what I'm doing is you're tracking, 1, your marketing campaigns, 2, you're tracking who's sending them in, 3, you're thanking them instantly and not waiting till the end of the year. So most people, if they're even tracking anything, they're using spreadsheets, and whoever's doing it is probably going crazy trying to do it. Okay, so, and they're probably not doing it very effectively. Not as quick as this, I can tell you that. So, anyway, this will generate more new business for you just by getting the thank yous out quickly, and you'll get new business. So, and again, you can run reports to see what works, what doesn't work. So, I just wanted to show that to you. One other thing I want to point out is over here on the home page here. So I already kind of I obviously went over the office events. I want to point out real quick the resolution. So we have a lot of people that do resolution. Here, Adam tax resolution. So again, I just have this kind of laid out based on what you might want to do, like call the IRS, case evaluation, all that kind of stuff. So you can easily set up reminders to follow up with the IRS or with your client, whatever you want to do, and you can kind of automate the whole process. Now, your user overview is going to be, your sign tasks, which we kind of went into. You can have your system messages where you can kind of message your employees to communicate with them. Again, not using email because they don't have to worry about any junk email. Appointments, you'll be able to see your appointments right here and your work schedule if you actually need to see a work schedule. So this is all accessible on your phone. Okay, so a lot of people will say, does it sync up with Outlook? Does it sync up with Google? It does kind of push to Google, okay, but my question to you is, do you need this syncing anymore when you can see Adam everywhere? Okay, usually you got to sync because you can't see calendars everywhere, but with Adam, this is all accessible everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. Waiting in line at the grocery store, you can pull this up, and you can also get, if someone books appointments for you in Adam, you can have it automatically go to you as an email and a text saying somebody just booked an appointment, so to log in and take a look at it. So it all depends on how much you want to stay in contact with your office and your software. This other column over here, excuse me, office overview. Again, this is basically kind of like the incoming communications from your client into Adam. Okay, so we try to, email. I mean, if you're using email for communication, one, it's not secure. Two, it's a pain to try to manage. Okay, and three, it's not in your management system. Okay, so not very good. Texting, again, how are you managing all that coming in on your phone? One, it's not in your management system. Two, how are you managing it? Okay, it's a headache. All right, so what we did, we're trying to eliminate all your headaches with Adam. Okay, so that's just another headache. There's a lot of other headaches going on in your tax office, but there's another one too. So what we did is obviously the portal. I showed you how any kind of communication coming from the portal into Adam or your tax office is going to be run right through here. So it's going to say you have 3 new messages or they're sending you documents. I'll get to the prospect in a second. Twilio, that's the texting that we use. That's our third-party texting SMS provider. From here, any kind of communication going back and forth with the client, two-way texting is done right here. So I can just reply. If I hit reply, I'm going to shoot right into the client's file, and I have the whole texting log with this client before I reply back. Okay, but everything's documented in their file. For email, same thing. Client incoming email comes in. I can reply right back. Again, I go right in their file, and I have this nice email log showing every email that's gone in and out with this client, all documented inside their file. Now, just so you know that the best way to communicate would still be the portal, just because it is encrypted. Texting and email, even though they're running through Adam, those are not encrypted. It's just some clients, you just cannot get them to use the portal. But if you got them using your email, why don't you just convert over to Adam email, and then at least everything's in their file, so you don't have that headache. Prospecting, you can use Adam to actually prospect and win over new clients. So again, you can set up a landing page, which we give you with Adam on your website. So then they fill out their contact information. It funnels right into Adam here on the home page. So when I click on, I have their phone number, how they heard about us, who they are, email address. From here, I can quickly add them as a prospect, and I can reply back to them, and then it shoots back to them. And now I have them in my sales funnel. And then from there, I can automate the whole process of blasting emails and text to them, try to win them over as a client. So that's basically how the communication process is on the incoming inside of Adam. I think I've touched base on most everything I wanted to touch base with. So next, I guess I'll turn it over and I'll turn it over to you guys and see if there's any questions. Let me see here. If you have any, go ahead and enter them. Go up here to the top. 1 second here. Other than the fact that you couldn't hear me. Okay. So we have when we upload the client documents in Atom, where does it save them? On our computer somewhere or on a portal. So when you upload a client document, as I showed you with Akeisha James, so first you're scanning or you're PDFing, you got to save it first to a folder on your workstation or on your server, and then from there, you're just going to go to that folder, and then you drag it into Atom, and then you hit save, and that uploads it into our server, which is stored. The hosting company we're using is called Liquid Web, which is a secure data center, which is guarded and everything's encrypted. As it transfers over, and then that's why you're able to access it then from anywhere. So that's kind of, it's on your workstation, but then you're just going to upload it, so it's actually in both places, and then we back it up to another data center, which actually is located in Phoenix, Arizona. So you have lots of protection. Next question. IRS likes KBA. Is this still acceptable for e-sign? And the answer to that one is yes. So there's different ways of using the KBA, and that's designed basically to verify that the client really is the client who's e-signing. So we use this method of using the PIN signature and then validating who they are, inside of Atom here. Next question. Oh yeah, again, tied to the KBA. So with the KBA, there's different ways to meet those qualifications, okay, for the IRS. So this is the way we chose, and it meets the qualifications. Other companies have gone a different route of doing it, so both of them are correct. And then it's just we tie it to our portal to make it easier for you guys and for our client. Next question, are there different levels and prices for the software? The software price is you get everything for whether you use it or not. So it's $99 a month or $9.99 for the entire year. We are running the special discounting that will knock $100 off, but that's it's ending soon. So we either can give you $100 off the annual fee or give you 1 month for free, and there is a $300 setup fee. Now we do have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if once you use Atom, now the $300 is not warranted, so that would be your only thing that you would lose. Other than that, within 2 months, as long as you're using it, dedicating a little bit of time to it, you'll know if it's going to work in your office or not. And for the most part, I can guarantee you it'll work in your office as long as you use it. Now, whether you decide your employees aren't going to adopt it, that would be kind of up to the owner whether they're going to adopt it or not. So it's got to go from the top down. Is Atom a PC-based or a cloud-based system? Atom is a cloud-based system only. Does Atom interface with QuickBooks desktop or online? At this time, Atom doesn't integrate with QuickBooks. We know that is a need, and that is on our list for next year. Unfortunately, we don't have the time for this year. We're pretty much done with our enhancements, and we're ready to push those out soon. So it does not, at this time, interface with QuickBooks. And then next question was your refund policy, which I just covered there. So we do have a 60-day money-back guarantee. And question, is it compatible with TaxWise online? Unfortunately, it is not. How we do the integration with TaxWise is we actually have to put a little macro on your workstation, and it automatically pulls data and creates these 2 files, and then we take those files and populate it into Atom. Whereas if you're TaxWise online, we won't have that ability to put this little macro. So unfortunately, it has to be the TaxWise desktop. Question, can we do automatic drafts? I think I know it. I was thinking, what is that? So I believe that question means can you set up reoccurring like deductions from a client? So maybe $50 a month, $50 a month. So we've integrated with EPS Financial and Authorize.net to allow that gateway, to allow the credit card processing and the bank product, and I'm sorry, and the e-check processing. So you can set up automatic drafts with Authorize.net, and then within Atom, what you would do is you can have reoccurring payments and fees. So you can do it every 30 days, every 90 days, whatever you want to do. You customize that yourself. So to answer your question, it would be yes for the automatic drafts, if I understood it correctly. Does Atom email replace Gmail? So I'll tell you that. So how the email works is right here. Is I have the email. So you would get your own email address. Okay, it'd be your company name at atomanager.com. So clients can email you back. You can email them out. Now the downside, the good side is it's all in their file. Okay, the downside is, I don't know if this is a big downside, they can't send attachments. So what we're doing on our email side is we're at the bottom, we're saying for your safety and security, send all attachments here, and that here is a link to their client portal. Okay, so one, they should really not be sending. It's a lot easier if they send attachments through the portal one because it's right in their file. You don't have to move it from your email into Atom. Two, they're probably sending things with confidential data, so you probably shouldn't have them go through email anyways. So, but they cannot send attachments. So it does not completely, I wouldn't say it does not completely eliminate your email. We're going to operate with Outlook, and we're going to operate with, the Adams email. Okay, so I mean, obviously, you still got to communicate with vendors or whoever. So you'd have both, but you try to just merge most of your clients over to Atom so that everything's inside Atom and it goes right in their client file. Next question, pertaining to keeping track of prospects, are we able to track them by source, automatic drip emails? So how we have that set up, so when I go to my prospects over here, and I haven't really built this out, not for this demo anyway. So right now all I have is an event called follow-up, but you can have one, you could say follow-up less than 30 days, follow-up 30 to 60 days, follow-up 60 to 90 days. So each event, when I click on here, and I go in their file, I can have it set up that, I don't have one right now in this example, I can have this set up that every 15 days an email and a text will go out to that client. Okay, now it's got to be the exact same message. So I can't set up multiple emails and texts based on the event. So what I normally do is after 30 days, I then change it to a new event, and then the new event's going to have my new automatic message going out. Okay, I can always just manually come in here and just blast the email, which would be a different email or text. But if I want the automatic one to go out, then it's going to be the same per event. And then I think your question was track them by source. I'm not sure if you meant by how they're coming in, but referral would work exactly the same way. If you're getting the leads from LinkedIn, if you're getting them from a financial planner, whichever, you'll be able to track them. And then so you can actually track how many came in per that referral source to see who's actually sending you the leads. And then you can actually see, I have a report, you can actually see which ones you're converting over, and when you convert them over, how long do they stay with you? So maybe someone's sending you great, many leads, but they leave you after a year. Well, I have a report that will track how long they actually stay with you. So, so how valuable is that referral source? Okay, next question. If you want to control the tax returns by type of return, example 1040, Schedule C 1120. I want to control the tax returns by type of return. Yeah, I think I might understand what that means. So when I go into a client file here, so I go back into Keisha James. So when I go into her file, so how we have it organized, again, this is her contact information right here. All right, right in here under account information, this is year specific. So here's her 2018 year. This is I can be a 1041, 1065, 1120. I can customize this to be whatever I want. So if I have some fiscal year returns, I can do that. And then based on the return type, it's going to automatically put my account due date, which is my return due date right here, which then displays on my home page. So I think the answer to your question is, yeah, you can control and identify what type of return it is per client. One next question. When labeling level of client, can you customize to make it that any client's label as our best clients also say that the owner of firm is only one that can contact them versus the preparer that's working on the file? Yeah, so how I'd handle that question is, one is, here's the category, so I'm going to rank this and I can customize this to whatever I want. Right under here where it says requested, this is the person who's supposed to be doing the return every year. So basically Mark has given his blessing that Keisha James is his return. Don't touch it. So when someone schedules an appointment with Keisha, it automatically puts Mark's name in there. So you could use this as the way of identifying that this is his client. So when I actually do a search for the client, I look at right here, right over here it says the user. It's going to say Mark Preco, and then an R means it's requested, means that's Mark's client. Okay, hands off. Okay, and when I schedule it, it automatically goes with Mark every time unless someone overrides it. So I believe that would be a good answer to your question. Next question, are there additional fees for payments through the portal by Adam on top of our normal bank or credit card processing charges? So if you're integrated with authorized.net, then you're good to go with Adam. You can have credit card processing, you can have the bank e-checks, and we don't charge any additional fees. All the fees are coming to you from your credit card processor, nothing coming from Adam. Next question, all of the December of 2019, yeah, correct. So the question was, is December of 2019 for free? Yes, it is. So one, you get the $100 off, and two, you get the rest of 2019 for free, which would mean sign up now. So you take it back, because you're not getting charged. So you might as well sign up now. One, you can learn it. You have more time to learn it. Two, take advantage of the free days remaining in December. And then over the holiday, maybe you can play around with it and learn it more. Next question, can you connect multiple NMI merchant processors? Okay, so unfortunately, the key is authorized.net, which is the gateway. There's many merchants that use authorized.net. We just we're personally using EPS Financial, but you don't need to. I mean, I know authorized.net works with a lot of different merchants. But when I go here on this help screen, this is who we always say start with them first, see what their fees are. If you're happy, sign up. If you're not happy, go with another merchant. It doesn't matter to us. It's just we've teamed up with them, but the key is authorized.net. But you can only have one at this time, one merchant processor. Next question says, on the home screen, can you see all the business types at one time? Or another way to ask, can you see all the office events at one time? So the question or the answer to that one is no. So you could create, you control this, okay? You control these events. So if you want to put multiple business types on one page, obviously you'd say business type, you might say all. Okay, but I just think it's going to be way too much information on one page to try to stay organized. I mean, look at tax prep. It's pretty long already. So I understand why you'd want to have it so you don't have to flip back and forth. But we found that was the best way to stay organized, is to have it so you would have to flip back and forth. Like I said, you can actually build little checks so that if something's sitting in an event too long, you can get notified that it's sitting there, so it's not like it'll get lost or you forget to go to the page. And you also, say you have bookkeepers and tax preparers, so the tax preparers can default to this home page, and the bookkeepers can default to their bookkeeping page. So they might not even see, they may not even need to go to the tax prep side. In fact, you can even block some people out if you want, so they don't even see the other business types. Next question, can calendar export to Excel, and can you pre-populate tax appointments based on prior year? So with our appointment calendar, you can copy all your appointments from last year into this year. Okay, and you can also run a report that will show all the clients that came in last year, when they came in, whether they were a walk-in or an appointment, who was the preparer, and then whether they pre-scheduled or not. So a lot of our users will use that report to see what's been pre-scheduled and what hasn't been pre-scheduled yet, so they know either to contact them or just go book the appointment for the exact time with the same preparer. And we also have it, if some people still want to send out the little postcards with their appointment on it, we have that also that you can print out and you can mail that out to the client. But these guys also will get email and text reminders telling them of their appointments. I forgot to point that out on my appointment. On admin here, under email text templates, you customize the appointment confirmation and you customize the appointment reminders too, and you can control when you want it to go out and how many you want those to go out. You can also send out happy birthdays to your clients. You can also create your own templates, so you can do Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever you want. You can customize all that. You can even send pictures via text, to shock your clients. And again, when you do things differently, that usually helps generate more business. If you do things all the same, what distinguishes you from the competition? So Adam will distinguish you from the competition, which hopefully will generate you more business. You can also, since I'm on this page, you can also blast batch messages to your clients, so you can send them all at one time as a portal message, as an email message, or as a text message. So if you want to tell them all at one time, tax season is starting right now, come on in, you can do that all at one shot. One more question. Can we connect to our credit card processor? So if you want to, all you have to do is call your credit card processor, ask them if they're using authorized.net as their gateway. If they say yes, there's nothing more. You might have a few things you got to do with them, but you don't have to change anybody. Next question, how can you manage the invoicing and reconciliation to match with the bank account? And we would help you with that. So you kind of like set up an account with Twilio, and then you either can pick a phone number based on your area code, or you can then fill out some paperwork and get the number that you want hosted. And so then they just got to confirm, and as long as that number is okay with texting, and then you'd be all set for keeping the same phone number that you're using for texting. Next question, are there triggers to start and stop process? Also, can we connect APIs through Zapier? No, right now the only APIs we're using are the three third parties that identified. Other than that, there's no other APIs that can be allowed unless we work something out later. The triggers to start and stop the process. I'm not sure if you mean the billable time or whatnot, but we do have a punch clock where you could there's two ways of logging billable time. One is you could do punch in and then punch out based on when you're working on the client, or you can go ahead and log it after the fact. So I'm not sure if that was what you're asking. Next question, can you add a fee for using a credit card like 2 to 3%? I mean, you're going to be able to control what you're charging. So there's transaction type drop downs, and so like you can say it's credit card processing fee. Now you can't use the percentage. Adam will not calculate the percentage. You either have to do that yourself and put it in there, or if you just want to say $5 across the board, whatever you want to do, you would have a line item you can put that when you're billing the clients, but it will not calculate percentages by itself. Next question, can we schedule appointments when not in the office? And the answer to that one is, yeah, you can schedule appointments outside the office, or meaning, oh, I see, I think maybe you can block time if that's what you mean, like if you want to block time so that nobody can schedule you because you're outside the office. So what we do is you go in the appointment calendar and just, there's a spot where you can just block, say I'm not going to be in here 9 to 11, so that nobody could actually schedule an appointment for you. Either it could be more descriptive, if you want to say appointments or at a dentist's appointment, whatever it is, or you can just say don't schedule. Next question, can you make a permanent note in the file where it shows up in their file every time instead of trying to be an exact year? Yeah, the question is yes. Let me just see if, I'm not sure why. If I can get back in here. Okay, I'll show you that one real quick. We have a section we call permanent notes, so that goes with the client every year, and it's not year specific. So I go into her file, and then right here, permanent note. This would be the permanent note right here. So a lot of people put passwords in there, whatever, for payroll or bookkeeping or whatnot, and you say it's related to a tax client. If you check this box right here, when they actually come in, it'll show up on the lobby screen, so that preparer will easily see that. But also they'll be alerted with a yellow, like a yellow highlight too, that alerts them. Next question, will it post payments to QuickBooks? Unfortunately, not this year, maybe next year. Next question, can Adam let us know when credit card payments have been declined? It will. Like if you're processing a payment in here and that doesn't go through, when I click on here and I try to process the payment, if it doesn't go through, I will get a red message right here saying it didn't go through. The client will also get a message saying it didn't go through on their end when they're trying to pay on the portal. Now, if you have it set up for reoccurring payments through like authorized.net, Adam will not know, because Adam isn't talking to authorized.net for reoccurring payments, only like when I'm processing like right here. So it would not know it. It would assume that it went through, but I believe you get notified because I used it for that feature, and I got an email sent to me saying these people were declined. Okay, so then I would then come in here and make my adjustment in Adam. But the reoccurring part, Adam and authorized.net are not talking to each other for that part. Next question, can you give access to employees during working hours and block when they're not working? So yeah, there's all kinds of ways to block employees from accessing Adam. So one is you can do it based on their work schedule. So if you put a work schedule for somebody, like right here I'm blocked, Office Manager 10, kind of ugly color here, but 10 to 3. So if I go into my user page and say I can only access Adam during that time, I will not be able to get in. Okay, so if it's 9:45, I'm not getting into Adam. Okay, you can do it that way, or you can do it like you do by IP address. So if you want them to access it, if they're in the office, that's fine, even if they're outside or before their work schedule. But if you don't want them accessing outside their work schedule per user, you can come down here and put allowable IP addresses here. So if it doesn't recognize the IP address, they will not get in the software. Can we turn off the appointment feature so clients can't schedule their own appointments? Oh yeah. The questions, can you turn off the feature where the clients can schedule their own appointments on the portal? And the answer to that one is yes. So I just go into my admin under client portal links, and I can deactivate that one just as you showed me do as I built it this at the beginning of the session. I just come in here and make it inactive where it says schedule my appointment. I make it inactive. They don't even see it. So any of those links. Next question, can Adam print an invoice or just email invoices? So yeah, Adam can print invoices both inside the file or as a batch through the reports section. Next question, how do you initially import client info from tax software such as Drake? So with Drake, it's very simple. You actually just go to Tools, File Maintenance, and Export Client Data, and that creates a CSV file. We then send you the link, our secure portal link. You then upload it to us. We then have our programmer populate it into your software. So Drake is the simplest of all the tax software. Now next, if you have a different tax software, if you go to our website, at the very bottom of the website, it says Documents Download. If it loads up, I'm not sure. I'm having trouble with the internet here. Let's go to the bottom here. Document Downloads. This would be the template for individual, template for business. So you then would just say you're using Lacert. You then would do an export out of your tax software or QuickBooks or whatever, and then you populate it into our spreadsheet templates, both for business and then individual. And then again, we'll send you the link to our secure portal, send it to us, then we populate it into your software. Next question, are you able to make an HTML link within our website for the portal so that the login pulls up within? Yeah, so the question, can we put that URL link on your website? Yeah, we're going to send you a list of all of the links that come with Adam. It's right up here in the help menu. So right here where it says client portal, this link right here with your code would be unique. You then send this to your website developer, and they put it on here. It should take about 10 minutes. And then that would link right to the portal page. Next question, how can you export beginning balances for clients? That one would be a little trickier, but we can do it. So what we'd have to do is, as long as you can identify the balance based on that client, and that client would be identified within Adam by their, as we call it, their access code. And typically, if it's a tax client, it's going to be their social security number. So as long as you're identifying the balance with that number, then we can build something that we can populate your balances into Adam. Okay, it was the same question here. Okay. What is the renewal annually? So our annual renewal is going to be, again, the $9.99, but if you renew by, we give you a 10% discount if you renew by May 31st of the following year. So say if you buy today, you're going to pay for all of 2020 all the way to December 31st, but we will send you an early renewal reminder right after tax season, because usually that's when people have money, so that if they renew again for the 2021 season, by the end of May, we'll give you a 10% discount. So it's like a $100 savings. Depends on how many offices you have too. Next question, will this sign the engagement letter in Drake? So the engagement letter, you could use this pin signature, okay, just like we're using for the 8879. Will that uphold in court for an engagement letter? That I do not know. Okay, I just know the IRS is allowing this way to do a pin signature. I mean, personally, I don't know if you'd ever go to court, but I would think as long as the client is acknowledging that this is your engagement letter and they fill out all this information, and so they do check the box that they're certifying that they read it and they agree to it. I would think that would be enough for your company, but honestly, I don't know if that would uphold in court if you actually would ever go that far. But I think it's a good way that they're just at least acknowledging that, hey, this is my signature. Okay, I agree to what's in the engagement letter, and then go with that. Next question, is there a limit to how much data we can store? No, there's no limit. So it's open up to, it's unlimited storage, unlimited training. So it looks like I got done to the end of the questions here, so I'll just kind of wrap it up here. So basically, if you were to sign up, the next process would be we'd process your order form. We then would set up your software, send you the links to your software with your username and login, a little getting started guide to help you kind of add employees, add clients, just to get used to it. And then we also right away try to sign you up for our little getting started training session, kind of a little introduction to the software, and then to find out which direction do you want to go. Like, do you want the appointment calendar? So you need to learn that. Do you want the workflow? Basic, because not Adam does a lot, so not everyone's using it for everything. So we can't just assume to train you on everything, because we don't want to train you on something that you're not going to use. So if you're not going to use the portal, we're not going to train you. We're not going to waste each other's time. So that first training session is just a brief introduction, and then also a map to find out which direction you want to go for your next training. And we also have training videos throughout all of Adam to help you too, so you don't have to just wait for us to do all the one-on-one training. But we do one-on-one training with you, with our trainers. So, but up here in the help session, if you go right here to training videos, this is our whole list of our training library all in one spot. We also have it built throughout the software wherever you're at. So if you're in, if I'm inside of a client file and I want to learn more about, say, the transactions, like how do I print an invoice, I just come down here to screen help, and I have this basic feed. So I have all these little videos on what I'm supposed to do: print an open invoice, print a statement, print an hourly invoice. So we have all these little trainings within the software itself, but we also, encourage you to use our support specialist to help you too, in case you have extra questions. We'd rather have you actually try to do it a little bit yourself, because they only have so much time. And we do give you unlimited training, but we only have so much time, in a day too. So, and we have a lot of users. Okay, so I think I got through everything. There's one question. Would there be a workaround for them to send attachments? Oh, regarding, did I miss these? Oh, I missed it. Okay. Question here. I know this is an odd situation, but we have an Amish clients who don't have access to the internet, but they can fax to our Gmail with attachments. Oh. Would there be a workaround for them to send attachments? They can fax using Gmail, huh? Unfortunately, Adam is internet based. So I guess for you guys, what you'd end up doing, so if they're getting, unfortunately, you'd probably have to use this, you'd have to do what you're doing now. So you'd have the attachment to Gmail, I guess, because they're faxing, it's going to Gmail. And then you're just going to then save that attachment, again, to your folder here. Because that's what I'm doing right now. If someone sends me attachment to my Outlook email, I save it to either I save the whole email and I upload it as an HTML, which I can do, or I save just that attachment. And again, then I'm just going to save it to my folder, and I'm going to drag it over into here, and I'm going to attach it. So unfortunately, it's a little bit of it's a few steps, but that would be your workaround. If there's no way for them to get it into the portal, they're sending it via email to Gmail, then that's how you would do it, is save it to your folder, drag it into Adam. Oh, there's some more questions here. Okay, let's see here. Is there a way to forward emails to a client file? So if you get an email and you want to then forward it to a client file, let's see, you could, let me think, because this email feature is new. I mean, you're going to have your email address, you could forward it, so it actually would come into your homepage here. And then the only way to get it into a client file would be if you link the client file to that email, and then you could do it. So we have to work on that one. I know that the email feature is new this year, so we haven't even gone through a tax season yet. So I'm sure we're going to experience things that we need that we don't have yet, and then we'll add those enhancements to next year. Let's see if there's anything. Okay, I think oh gosh, there's some more questions here now. Drake users would we still need to use Secure File Pro? And yeah, if you're a Drake user and you're using Secure File Pro and Document Manager, I'd recommend not using those anymore because Adam does everything and does it usually better. Plus, you have everything all in one place, and then you don't have to pay for. If you're paying for Secure File Pro and you got Adam's client portal, you don't want to pay for both. So, and then again, the key is putting it in one place to make your life easier. So I would say no to that question. Question, if you still need to create an envelope of box file for a client, can we print labels from Drake? Oh, I'm not sure what Drake does, but if you're inside a client file, you can print a mailing label. So if I'm right here, I expand this out, my contact information, I click on the printer, and this will produce my mailing label. I can throw it onto a file. So this would sync up with your, I can't remember, there's like a little machine that's a label maker, and you just print it right off there, and it would go right, on your file folder. Dymo, that's it, correct. Dymo, yeah, this does work with Dymo, exactly. If you have a secondary address, you can use it right here. This would be the primary address. And I think I've made it through all my questions. Okay, I appreciate your time, and I hope we will be working with you soon. If you have any other questions, or if you still need a one-on-one demo, we are a little tight, but we'll try to accommodate you. So just give us a call or send us an email or whichever. We'd love to earn your business. Okay, thank you again for your time. Bye.